Welcome everyone. This is our fourth Education Summit, the first time that we're hosting it in the UK. And we're delighted to be here at Ravensbourne today. My name's Peter Cummings. I'll be your host for the day. I'm the head of the public sector business within Adobe across EMEA. I just want to introduce up on stage Professor Robin Baker, who is the CEO of Ravensbourne. We're very lucky that we're able to hold our event here today. And I just wanted to get Robin just to give a few thoughts just around positioning for the day ahead and just to give us a bit of an introduction to his institution here. Professor Baker.
I'm really pleased that Adobe have decided to have their launch here. We are an institution that uses a lot of Adobe products, and I'll go into that in a sense in a minute. I'd just like to start off with the idea of creativity in education. We at Ravensbourne think this is something which is so important. We have developed an institution really around the idea of creative digital technologies, of things that in fact you couldn't do by hand, things that you couldn't do before, to try and understand what the nature of that activity could be. What is it you could do with digital technology you could not do by hand? And that's an important area. So it looks at the medium of this. In London, there are 42 institutions that are in higher education. Small specialist institutions have a very important role to play, and there are a number of us in the creative areas like theatre, dance, drama, film, and Ravensbourne in terms of digital media. We have 2,400 students roughly, and we are trying to develop this idea of the emphasis upon innovation and connected technologies. We have a European-funded incubator, and our mission is this creative exploitation of the digital world. You will know this story of Alice through the looking glass. And the Queen says to Alice, during in this country, you see it takes all the running you can do to keep in the same place. If you want to get somewhere else, you must run at least twice as fast. This is rubbish. This is really bad. And this is the kind of view that I think has impacted on our education. You have to do things differently. You have to look at what your customers want now. And so we took a fundamental view that, in fact, we need to unpack all of those things that higher education takes for granted. We used to be here. We were out in North Kent, and we couldn't really do digital things in the suburbs. So 5 years ago now, we decided to move, and we went through a whole process of looking at change. We're no longer an art school, because London has lots of art schools, and so there's no point in having another art school. So we tried to look at things differently, and relocation was part of this. So what we wanted was, in fact, to put a new institution in a new building, and that was important. And so this, for us, was not just a move, it was a transformation. And we try and develop this idea of the disruptive digital technology. We have relationships with Adobe. We have these 2,400 licenses. Everyone at Ravensbourne has to have a laptop, and they have to use the Adobe software to start with. We have a good relationship with Mozilla, and we have two areas of expertise that we're looking at, which is 3D stereoscopy, which is 3D television, and 3D printing, because these are the things that you can do in the digital world you could not do before. And so in designing this building, we looked at actually sharing everything. No one owns anything, but everyone owns everything. So the idea is that to get staff and students to trust central services, central resources, it's resourced just in time rather than just in case. So we used to have a welding shop just in case someone wanted to weld. Now we outsource that. If someone wants to weld, we find somewhere in London where you can do it. So we have very high quality centralized services. We separate support from access so that it's open 16 hours a day, but we only teach for 6. So the idea is a building that is open for students to work together in a team. And this is what it looked like when it opened in 2010. And we have a retail income from these. The developers wanted to have retail on the ground floor, so it works for both of us. And we built it looks very old-fashioned now. This was designed 7 years ago, which was a kind of computer center which had all our own servers, and now it's half empty because most of it's in the cloud. And so the building is used for a whole range of things, and this is our fashion show, and you can see it's ideal for these sorts of activities. It's the idea of creating a creative building for creative people to do creative things. This is our 3D storytelling conference that we had last year. And we also do a streaming with the Royal Shakespeare Company now. And we streamed Richard II or III, I've forgotten which one it is, with Doctor Who was here, to every school in the country. And we managed then the rapport from those schools and the questions and inquiries to the Royal Shakespeare Company, and it's all online, and it's a great success story as far as we're concerned, and also as far as the Royal Shakespeare Company. If you have the time, there is a wonderful cable car that the mayor built for the Olympics that's behind us, that goes, this is a view from the cable car overlooking the peninsula, and it goes to Tech City. And this is part of our last year's degree show. We built a rave bot that had a camera in it, and so we were developing those sorts of things. So the idea of creative energies, the idea of doing things differently, of having a building that's different, is in fact very important. So I do welcome you today, and if you have an opportunity, then we'd certainly want to show you around the kind of things that we do, because it is quite an interesting building. So thank you very much. Have a brilliant day.
Thank you, Professor Baker. I've been lucky enough to have a tour around the building. It is the most remarkable institution. I went away feeling incredibly jealous and wishing I was at least 20 odd years younger and could do it all again. I think students nowadays have institutions like this to come and learn in is just a remarkable thing.